Yes, welcome to Bikes of Rye. Out on my beautiful BMW S1000R. It's a Saturday evening and I thought, do you know what? I'm going to take my beautiful bike out for a little spin. I come out, I park up and we have a little bit of rain. Annoyingly, it seemed to be so clear today, and then we just have these odd little rain clouds that just appear, and then it's a very light rain. So it's not going to put me off. I'm still going to go out and have a little bit of a boogie. But yeah, I thought I'd bring you guys with me. Jump aboard, start her up. Go and look for slightly drier roads. You won't have to ride too far. I'm sure it's telling me my fuel's low too, but I've got 44 miles on the range. Be all good. Here we are, dry roads ahead. That's better, isn't it? See, it's clear skies. A few dodgy ones over there to my left, but we should be alright. Had to turn heated grips on because my hands are a little chilly. It's kind of warming up, but it's not quite there yet. Some days are better than others, but that's the whole bonus to having heated grips, isn't it? To keep your hands warm. I mean, I'm not helping matters wearing my summer gloves. I do have winter gloves, but these are quite nice to ride in. They're light. But yeah, bike is loving life too. I'm almost at the required 600 miles. Its running service is booked in next week and I cannot wait to get that done. What it does mean is when the bike is running, I get rid of that hard limiter and I'm able to open this bike up properly. Oh yes, exciting times ahead. But anyhow, let's talk about the title to this video. Why did I choose the BMW S1000R? Well, I think I need to start off by saying that this bike, when I test rode it, it really excited me ever so much. It just felt so right. Like there was a few things that really just sold it, but I'll start on the main thing first. Well, there's three things really. So firstly, it is the handling, the chassis and how light it feels. You know, it's quite nosy for a naked. It's got flat bars and it's not the most comfortable naked. You know, the pegs are that bit higher than the others, and as I say, flat bars. But yeah, I mean, it's not uncomfortable, but it's not the most comfortable naked. But I'm looking for a sporty naked. Okay, I'm not going to go touring on this bike. Admittedly, I've only done a maximum of about 100 miles in one go. When the summer comes around, I'm sure that'll turn into 200 or 300 miles, and maybe I'll change my mind. But for now, and based off like the test ride and how I've found it so far, it handles. Then we have to talk about the tech, okay, and it is absolutely machine gunned with technology. Like BMW have thrown a lot at this bike. The feature for me is the real standout is the semi-active suspension, and I love the fact that you get this kind of tech for how much you pay for this particular naked versus your competitors, okay, the other options out there. I didn't want to go out and blast, you know, spend nearly 20k. I couldn't afford it, and this bike, you know, circa 14,000, and what you get, I just love the fact that I've got this semi-active suspension, as I say. So I've got it in road mode now, and the suspension's lovely and soft. You don't mind hitting the odd potholes, the odd bumps here and what have you. And honestly, even when I want to have a bit of fun and the road's open, I actually leave it in road mode. It's very clever. I mean, the semi-active suspension is always adjusting, so depending on how fast you are going and I guess what rider mode you're in also, because even if you leave it in road mode, on the suspension side of things, if you flick your rider mode into dynamic, okay, you still have this suspension that's that little bit forgiving. It's very clever, and you don't feel it doing its job. I mean, let's talk about the electronic suite on this, okay? Oh, we got diversion here. So you don't ever feel the electronics intervening, like, you know. So like if I pin the throttle, so like second gear now, I can just pin it and it doesn't want to lift the wheel, and you don't feel it cutting the power. That's what I love about it. I mean, when I took it out on a test ride, of course the bike I rode didn't have any hard limiter on it, and I could just wind it all the way to the red line in second gear, and it would just give you a little bit of wheelie, and it would just get you there perfectly. Makes you feel like, you know, it gives you pure confidence. I mean, I would like to take the electronics off it, you know, cut that all back eventually, and have a little bit of a you know, maybe pop the odd wheelie here and there. But yeah, it will just, it kind of, it's like there in the background giving you a helping hand and making you feel like Marquez. And then the engine on the bike, for me, with the 165 claimed horsepower, that was an attraction to me also. I didn't want something too punchy, I didn't want something too, I don't know, like I came from a street triple with 130 at the wheel, and yeah, I just felt like this was an ideal jump in power. And I know it's not the most, it doesn't sound very good, but we are going to address that because I do have some Black Widow headers to go on the bike. Oh, some national speed limit signs again. Oh, and the changes in road mode, they're so supple. It's so smooth. It's awesome. It's almost like an automatic car. You cannot feel them. It's very clever. Again, I have to reiterate, the tech on this bike is ever so good. But yeah, the price point, I mean, £14,000 thereabouts for the Sport, and you have so much on this bike for the money. And I think that is really sort of that was like the cherry on top, really, because when you look at the spec sheet of this bike and what you get on this machine, it's like, how is it only, you know, as I say, £14,000 or thereabouts? Because the competitors out there are not giving you this amount of bike for that money. And how, I mean, this is a BMW as well. You would expect it to be priced, you know, equivalent to the likes of the Aprilia Tuono or Ducati Street Fighter, and they're up near, I mean, with some options, I guess they're up at like sort of 18 to 20k or the region of that. And is this bike like 3 or 4 grand any worse? I don't know. I don't know, but for me it's affordable. Just a short one really for this evening, as I say, not out for very long. Just wanted to kind of get that off my chest. I do get the questions asked often why I chose this bike over other Super Nakeds out there. So yeah, there are a handful of my reasons. I hope that helps you understand my decisions. But yeah, I'm gonna get this bike home, get it all cleaned up. So on that note, thanks for watching. I hope to see you on another one very soon. See you later.